Hi everyone, Karen Ann here from the Cut at Home design team, and today I'm going to show you how I made some cards using one of my favorite stamp sets. It's Bird Crazy from Tim Holtz. Love these funny little birds. And now brand new to the collection is this Crazy Things, and these are basically accessories for the fun birds. So you can do all sorts of fun things with these. And so let me show you what I did. I made a couple of cards in advance, and I'll make one today during the video. But the first card I made is this little birthday card. I colored the bird with Tim Holtz distress markers that are available at Cut at Home. On this one, I added that fun birthday hat and a couple of balloons. I just drew the strings here with, it's this Copic multi-liner pen. Added a little teeny bow. And then I added a sentiment from Penny Black Celebrations dies and splattered it with some Celebrations green ink here and added some sequins and some glossy accents to the hat, and it's just super fun. The next one I did has a little bit of snarky to it. With this bird I added the little top hat, and then I paper pieced in the little bow tie so that it adds some dimension. Added the hearts that are covered in glossy accents, and the sentiment here says I love you even though you're skinny. I just thought that was pretty funny, especially with that little chubby bird. And then I'm going to make a Halloween card with you, or on screen today, I guess I should say. And so I started off first by stamping and coloring with Tim Holtz distress markers that jack-o'-lantern. And then I want to use from the Crazy Things this fun witch hat that will go here, and this skinny little bird that seemed to fit the witch hat fairly well. Now you can see that it's got some hair on there, and I of course don't want the hair to show through on the hat. And so the way I did this is by using a mask. The way that I'm going to do this is by using a mask. And so let me get my stamp block, and of course the thing that's on top when you use a mask always gets stamped first. So I'm going to stamp that hat right near the top there, about there, and then I'll take that stamp off, and I'm going to use a stamp positioner to make sure that I get that bird right in the right location. And I pulled out my stamp positioner in advance, and so this is, I think, what is this, Ink-a-Dink-a-Doo? It's like a stamp-majig, I think they call it, and it just basically allows you to position a stamp in any location. And so you just put that there, and then you can line up exactly where you want that stamp, so that he is standing straight up. That's about right. And then you ink him up real well. This is almost a process where you need 3 hands, but oops, I'm sorry. Lost my mind for a minute. Forgot I have to mask that hat. So I stamped and cut that in advance, and I'm going to try this again. So it goes, try this, position it right there, make sure nothing, oh, there's the hat moved, don't want that hat to move, right down there, ink up that bird real well, because you basically get one shot, and then straight down. And it turned out perfectly, and so that way that hat sits right on top of that bird. The ink I used here is from Celebrations, Spellbinder Celebrations. It's Berry Black. It is a fabulous ink, and I use it both for watercoloring and for my alcohol markers, and it works really well. So in this case I'm going to use the distress markers, and I'm going to, where did I pull out the ones that I wanted to use? I colored the pumpkin in both spiced marmalade and in ripe persimmon. I like using two colors when I do those things. And I'm thinking I'm going to color the bird in seedless preserves and in Dusty Concord. So to do that, just take that fat end and color, put a lot of ink on right around those edges, like so. Anywhere that the lovely Mr. Holtz has given us some guidelines. Something like this, maybe a little thinner over there. Get his wing, some in there, maybe up through here, around here, so on and so forth. And then I'm going to take my second color, which is Dusty Concord, and I'm going to add just a thin outline around his eyes to give them a little more depth when I color, like so. Okay, something like that. And then you take a magical water brush, and this one happens to be from Tim Holtz, and you just blend that in to drag that color. And this one is a little dry, so I'm just squeezing it to get some more water flowing. There we go. To drag that color across into the picture. Don't know why my water brush is so dry. Maybe I have it too tight. There we go. That's better. Get down into his tail there. And of course, none of this needs to be perfect. But I just kind of want to bring that color out into the bird a little bit. Like so. You're allowed to leave him looking a little bit crazy because that's what he's supposed to be, as a crazy bird. Like so. And then, like, I want his tummy to be a little bit brighter, and so one of the tricks I use is to take the pen on the fat side and just dab it, and then you can see it brings in quite a bit more ink into the middle where you want it. This ink is all very water reactive, so you have a lot of control over how it works. Like so. Maybe even a little bit up here. Okay, he's kind of scary looking with that purple, isn't he? I usually keep a piece of scrap paper on the side to clean that brush. Just a few swipes, usually as long as the water flow is flowing, will give you a clean brush again. I'm going to paint his hat in the brand new Hickory Smoke Distress Marker. I love this color. It's one of the colors of 2015, and it's one of my favorite. It's great for doing all sorts of spooky kinds of things. Just once again, I'm getting where the wonderful Mr. Holtz decided the shadows should be. And then I will take my pen, my water pen, and spread that ink out. Once again, I wish I had a little bit wetter pen, but that's okay. Like so. this one is just not cooperating. And so once again, I can just bring in more color by transferring directly from the pen to give it a little bit darker shade of gray. And of course, the more ink you the more ink you add, the more color you get. Something like that. And then once again, clean my brush. And I want to do his the ribbon on his hat. I'm using peeled paint here. And just adding in a little bit of color there. Dragging that color across as best as I can with a somewhat dry brush. Oops, lost my cap. A little bit more color in there. On the buckle there, I will use an At You Spica Copic marker, a little glitter pen basically, to add that gold buckle on there. And then he has one final touch, which is his nose that I will color with spiced marmalade. This one. Make sure I cut all that green off, or we'll have a green nose. Love coloring with watercolor. It just gives you a lot of control over what you're doing there. I think I just want to kind of shape that out a little bit. It's a little too scary for me. Okay, to finish up this card, I believe I want to add some sprinkles, some more splats using the Celebrations green ink. And I don't want it to splat over the bird, so I'm just going to mask that off a little bit. And just tap, 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 tap. And maybe a little bit there. And without dumping the whole bottle, maybe tap, 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 tap. There. And I will add some sequins once that dries, and I plan to add a little piece of graphic 45 and Erie tail here with some black twine, but once again I want to let that dry. I just basically wanted to show you how you can add the accessories both on the side, on top of, using a stamp positioner, or you can even paper piece them in. For more information and to see the final of this cute Halloween card and more details on the other card, be sure to check out the Cut at Home blog at www.cutathome.com/blog and stay crafty.